Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and a very, very, very happy new year to everybody that's joining me. And it was very early on a Friday morning, the first week of January, so there may be nobody live here. So if you're catching the replay, do say hello. It's lovely to see you. This is the first live of the year for us here in the Clear Method. So hello and welcome. It's lovely to see you. It's lovely to have you here. It's lovely to even have you on the replay. So today, I think, is a very, very particular topic, and it's the topic of change. It's on everybody's mouth. It's the debate between whether you get into change, whether you tiptoe into change, whether you don't. And I'm talking not about the change of I want to be fitter, I want to be healthier, which we all want, and not about the change, I'm going to be better at finances, not that kind of change. I'm talking about a root and branch change. I'm talking about the change that some of us face at this time of year, the need to change that we face at this time of year. And that need to look at the past, the need to have a look at what's troubling us, have a look at maybe some of the wounded parts of ourselves that have been lying dormant, that maybe have been pushed up through the pandemic or that have been pushed up through Christmas time. It's a real time of reflection, Christmas. And then it's a real time after that for action. It's kind of the way the system is set up, rightly or wrongly, it's the way it's set up. So there's a lot of people out there contemplating that type of change, and maybe have been contemplating that type of change for a long time. And what I really want to talk about is the detail of that change, how actually difficult that is. So if it's you or if it's a partner, someone in your family that you want to change, that you're hoping that makes that step this year, then what I want to do is kind of let you on the inside of what's really going on when we want to change but we can't, when we want to change but we renege on the appointments, when we want to change and we tell everybody we're going to make that appointment, we're going to go and see the therapist, this is going to be the year. And then what happens is that we pull back. There is nobody in this entire world that goes skipping to a therapist office. Delighted. We normally go with our knees knocking, with our teeth chattering, exhausted, terrified, but we push on and make the appointment and go anyway. But that going anyway, there's a lot happens in the middle of it. There's a lot that happens, and there's a lot of reasons why we don't, as human beings, make that leap. And even when we make that leap, there's a lot of reasons why we don't stay the distance, why we don't stay in the process, why we don't keep ourselves in the process. And I want to start to show that to you now. So there's a lot of stuff happening. One of the major things that is happening is that the fear of change itself. Who will I become and what will I become in me? What will I lose? What parts of myself will I lose? Will I stop being the person that I am? Will I stop being this fun, bright, whatever it is that you believe yourself to be? Will I lose that? And that's terrifying. That's nearly an existential crisis on its own. So that's chitter chattering away. The next piece is, what will I do with the pain? It's like kind of like a tube of toothpaste. Once it's out, will I be able to get it back in? Will I be able to control it? Will I be able to manage it? Dear Lord Almighty, what will happen to this pain that I'm about to look at? I've been trying to keep it dormant and I don't even know what it looks like. I don't even know. And so what am I going to do with it? What will happen to me if I go near it? So these are two main processes that happen inside every human being when we go to look at the wounded parts of ourselves. Now, if that's you, then you'll recognize that in your own head. You'll recognize that conversation. You'll recognize that language, that chitter chatter in your own head. But if it's not you and you're looking for someone that you love to change, if you're looking for someone that you love to reach out for therapy, then understand that's what's happening. But there's a wee bit more than that, all right? And I'm going to show you, share documents with you. They kind of give you the detail of it. Now, the document that I'm about to show you, or the example that I'm about to show you, is a very detailed example. And not everybody will have what we call these layers of difficulty in accessing their wounded self. But it's a great example. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to share this document with you, and we're going to have a talk about it. This is what we call, or I call, the wrapping board. This is what I teach therapists to look out for, and this is what we do inside the Clear method. So I want you to just kind of have a think about someone, yourself, that is trying to get into a therapeutic relationship, trying to access the pain within, trying to undo the pain that's causing the addiction, trying to undo the pain that's causing the gambling, trying to get to what it is that makes them do what they do. And what I want you to do, what I want you to have a think about is the main center problem here, anger. So if someone has a real anger problem, yeah, then coming to a therapist to talk about the anger isn't just an easy process. Why? Because here's the multiple layers that are happening. That anger, they believe, is very, very, very shameful, which means that if I have anger, that anger then causes me shame, which means I am wrong for having that anger. That's what I believe in me. I believe that this anger is wrong and I am wrong for having it. So if I want to go to a therapist and I have anger at the core of my issue, then this therapist, I run the risk of this therapist and myself having to see and feel shame towards me. And I have to feel this shame too. I'm ashamed that I am angry. And I think that this therapist is going to see that shame too and feel that shame towards me. So it's not just what I feel about my own anger. It's what I think the potential helper, the potential coach, potential therapist will feel. So the risk is great. Not only is shame there, but blame. I've taught myself and been taught that anger is shameful and blameful, in that I am wrong and I've done wrong, and I have done wrong in anger. And it's very difficult to be able to explain my actions in anger, my difficulties in anger, but I feel I am wrong and I've done wrong. And if I explain all of this and feel all of this, and others see this, then I'm going to lose. And if I begin to touch that anger, then the reality is that I will lose all my love, I will lose all my connections, I will lose all my friendships, because who wants somebody so badly filled with anger that's really wrong and it does really wrong things? Who wants someone like that? So you're going to lose. And the fear of all of that exploration, the fear of not only that becoming a reality, but the fear of the ultimate absolute terror of re-experiencing all that emotion, the anger, the shame, the blame, the loss, and the absolute terror of exploring this, talking about this, working with this, believing that you'll recover from this. And so when we're talking about change, what I want to do with this small diagram is to give you a snapshot of why it's terrifying. Not everybody has those multiple layers. Maybe people have one or two, but what I really am asking you to think about is how many layers you have. What it is you really believe that will happen to you if you go near this pain inside. What it is you think other people will think about you or feel about you, because that's the real reason for the resistance. That's the reason for the I'll do it tomorrow and never do it and live in the same way all year. That's the real reason. But see, when you can articulate that, do you see when you have a vocabulary for that? Do you see when you understand what's happening? See when you understand that your mind is absolutely petrified of having, one, to re-experience the pain that's there, and two, having any consequences of having to re-experience this pain. When you understand that, then you understand the chitter chatter that says don't do it. You understand the chitter chatter that says don't bother, that says we'll do it tomorrow, that says that therapist is not good enough for. You understand the chitter chatter that is heartbreaking for you to live with day in, day out, when you want change so much. So I am hoping that this conversation and this short explanation, I am hoping that this opens up and gives you some vocabulary that you can share with loved ones if it's you that's changing, or that you can have that conversation with your loved ones if they're in the process of change, that you can begin to say, look, I understand what might be happening, and begin that beautiful conversation of understanding the terror of change itself. And I'm hoping that this video will go about explaining why the resistance is at play and help you maybe reflect on your resistance, or whoever it is that's trying to change resistance, and open up this conversation and maybe just help and assist somebody over the bridge of resistance and the long-term meaningful change. Happy New Year. I hope you find this helpful. If you do, share it. There's somebody that needs this today. And let me know in the comments below how you felt about it, what you thought about it, if it resonates. And let me know in the comments below if you liked the wee documents and if you'd like to see more of it. So I will see you all very soon. Bye for now.